Astrology isn't just about signs and symbols. It's a tool for navigating real life. Hello, and welcome to Astrology with Elisa. I'm your host, Elisa Dixon, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. This week, I was torn. There were so many things I could talk about. A listener even asked me, Elisa, with everything happening in the sky, how do you know what's really most important to focus on? And that question stuck with me because sometimes the most important thing isn't what's loudest. It's what whispers to you from deep inside. And that's exactly what happened to me on Sunday night, just hours after Mercury stationed retrograde. I suddenly remembered a poem I had to write in junior high. No real reason why, really. It just crept into my mind. Surfaced, like something that had been sitting underwater for decades that finally wanted to be seen again. I don't remember the exact assignment, only that I had waited until the last minute to do it because I was trying to finish before my favorite TV show came on. It was supposed to be free verse, no rhymes, no structure, just feeling. But what came out was dark, cold, and hopeless. And even though I don't remember the whole thing, these fragments of it came flooding back. Here's what I remember. It's dark. It's damp. It's cold. I'm worried. I'm scared. No, terrified. How could she? Why would she? I hate her. I'm all alone. No way out. The water's coming up. Somebody. Anybody. Help. Whoa, heavy poem, right? Especially coming from a kid who honestly had a pretty good childhood. No one ever locked me away. No one abandoned me. So where did that come from? The funny thing is, I don't actually have the full poem anymore. Just this handful of lines that came back to me the other night. And what's wild is that this little poem, the one I wrote in 5 minutes so I could go watch TV, ended up being chosen by my teacher for a poetry contest, and it won. And it was published in a national anthology back in the 90s. So if any of you listening have strong Scorpio energy, and if you love a good mystery and have any interest in finding this poem out there, send me a message and I'll give you some details to help your search. My Aries sun would never have the patience to go looking for it, but my Scorpio listeners just might. And I would like to read it fully again because something about that poem feels like it came from a place far deeper than I understood at the time. Those words convey fear, betrayal, pain, intensity. They're pure Scorpio energy. Scorpio is the part of the zodiac that feels everything so deeply that it can't help but surface even through a 12-year-old scribbling out a last-minute homework assignment. And maybe that's why Scorpio energy can feel so misunderstood. It's not just dramatic. It's visceral. When something hurts a Scorpio, it consumes them. When they love with every atom of their being. And when they sense betrayal, it cuts to the bone. Because Scorpio feels deeply. And when you feel that deeply, you can't fake it. You can't skim the surface. You either dive in or you drown. Because Scorpio is one of the most intriguing, magnetic, and misunderstood signs of the zodiac. And what better time to talk about it than right now, during Scorpio season, with the sun shining through its depths, and Venus, now in Scorpio, stirring up all kinds of emotions around love, loyalty, and truth. Scorpio energy runs deep. It's passionate, mysterious, and often mistaken for being secretive or controlling. But it's not really about control. It's about safety. Scorpio guards what matters most: their heart, their truth, their trust, because once they let you in, you're in. Scorpios operate on a need-to-know basis, and most people don't need to know. I have a funny story about this actually. I have a very close friend who's a Scorpio rising, one of my best friends. We talk all the time about everything, or at least I thought we did. You all probably already know I get up really early every morning to work out. It's a routine I've shared hundreds of times. A few months ago, in passing, she mentioned she also gets up super early to work out before her day starts. And I just blinked at her like, wait, what? Even though I'd fed her a million opportunities over the years to share that commonality with me, she never had. And she didn't say it in any big way, just casually, like it didn't matter. I was like, okay, friend, so we both lift weights at 5 a.m. Cool. Then just last week, we were out walking, and I was wearing the sweater I had crocheted, something she'd seen me working on for months. She looked at it and said, "Oh, that's so beautiful. You'll have to share the pattern. I want to make one like that." And I looked at her and I said, "You crochet?" She laughed. Yeah, she does. There have been 100 times where I've mentioned some crochet project I'm working on, or she's literally seen me with yarn and hook in hand, and she never shared that she does it too. And that's the thing. Her keeping those details to herself isn't about secrecy or distance. It's just Scorpio. They keep parts of themselves tucked away, not because they're hiding something bad or hiding something good for that matter, but because they know that not everyone can hold what's inside them or even needs to. Sometimes it's enough for them just to know it's there. That quiet strength, that privacy, that sense of sacred inner space. That's Scorpio's gift. And that depth, that emotional X-ray vision, comes from their rulers, Mars and Pluto, the planets that give Scorpio its incredible willpower, its focus, and its power to regenerate after pain. Mars is Scorpio's traditional ruler. It's the planet of action, will, and survival. In Aries, Mars charges forward. In Scorpio, Mars channels that same force inward into focus, determination, and emotional strength. It's less about fighting the world and more about mastering oneself. Pluto, Scorpio's modern ruler, represents the power to face the dark and emerge changed. It's the energy of truth, death, and renewal. Scientists believe Pluto has a frozen surface, but vast oceans beneath the ice. That's Scorpio. Calm, cold, even icy on the outside, but underneath, waves of emotion that could move worlds. Together, Mars and Pluto give Scorpio its power. Scorpio is the only sign of the zodiac with 3 spirit animals: the scorpion, reacting and protecting itself with a sting; the eagle, rising far above where others can go, seeing clearly from a distance; and the phoenix, burning down what's no longer working to rise again from its own ashes. That's Scorpio's true gift, the courage to face endings and let them become beginnings. Scorpio is a fixed water sign, emotion that endures, feeling that doesn't fade. That's why they're known for loyalty. Once they love you, they're all in. But betray that trust, and it's gone, completely, forever. Scorpio doesn't do anything halfway. They'll dive all the way into the darkness if that's what it takes to find the light again. And right now, Venus is moving through Scorpio, and that energy colors everything we're feeling in love and connection. When Venus moves through Libra, she's graceful and charming. She wants peace, harmony, and ease. But in Scorpio, Venus wants depth. She wants soul-level connection, truth, passion, loyalty, even if it means touching the shadow. So for the next few weeks, if relationships feel heavier, more magnetic, or a little more complicated right now, that's Venus in Scorpio. She asks, can you love someone through their darkness? Can you let them see yours? Can you hold space for truth even when it's messy? This transit reminds us that love isn't always light and pretty. Sometimes it's the thing that breaks us open so we can love more honestly. And we all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart. Wherever it is, that's where you're being called to go deeper, to face truth, to feel what you've been avoiding, to let something old go so something truer can take its place. Because Scorpio doesn't just end things, it reveals what's real. And maybe that's why that old poem resurfaced for me. Not to haunt me, but to remind me that even in the dark, something beautiful can still be born. And you guys, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, "Oh my gosh, I could never be with a Scorpio." And I get it. Many people have felt the sting of a Scorpio before. But maybe as we close out this last week of Scorpio season, we can offer them a little grace. Maybe instead of seeing that sting as cruelty, we can understand it as protection, a reaction from someone who feels more deeply than most of us can even imagine. So this week, if a Scorpio comes to mind, try seeing them differently. See the love behind the sting and the courage it takes to keep showing up with that kind of heart. Because that, more than anything, is Scorpio's gift. And circling back to that listener question, how do you know what's most important in the sky right now? The truth is, it's different for each of us. Right now, Mercury is retrograde. Jupiter is also going retrograde. Uranus just dipped back into Taurus for a few months, shaking things up there. Then there's whatever planet rules your rising sign. That planet is also your chart ruler and always deserves your attention. For me, that's Saturn, so I personally always watch Saturn closely. But it also depends on the season of life you're in. Right now, I'm personally having my once-in-a-lifetime Uranus opposition, also known as the midlife crisis transit. So for me, that's top of mind right now. Each of us has our own version of what's loudest in the sky. And even that often changes. There's never a shortage of energy swirling. But in honor of Scorpio season, I invite you to look deep within yourself. Tune in, and you'll know what energy is loudest in your soul. You already know what needs your focus. Just trust yourself. And if you'd like help identifying which planetary energies are strongest for you right now, or any guidance on how to handle the Scorpio part of your chart, you can always go to my website and book a reading with me. You'll find the link in the show notes. And I know I just listed a lot of big energies in these last few minutes. So if there's something specific you'd like me to cover next week, send me a message and let me know. Before we wrap up, I've got a quick reminder. I just released a brand new moon sign guide to self-care on my website. It's a free download, and it's been so touching to hear from those of you who've already grabbed it and said how spot on it feels. It's my gift to you, especially as we head into the holidays, a little way to honor your own emotional rhythm. So if you haven't yet, go grab your copy. You'll find the link in the show notes. As always, I love and appreciate you all, especially all you Scorpios out there this week. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you next time.